Three things cannot be hidden for long: the sun, the moon, and the truth, said Lord Buddha. For unraveling the truth in the many scientific fields, let's salute the spirit of scientists whose revolutionary work has impacted human lives in a big way. But a truth cannot be created, only perceived, said the great spiritual guru Paramahansa Yogananda. Let's find from the scientists themselves for how they perceived the truth. Dr. Muhammad Javed Ali is an internationally recognized surgeon specializing in the state-of-the-art lacrimal surgeries. As a leader in lacrimal drainage sciences, he currently heads the Govindram Seksaria Institute of Dacryology at the L.V. Prasad Eye Institute, Hyderabad. Dr. Javed is a clinician scientist who pioneered dacryology as a separate branch of medicine, which deals with the study of tear ducts and treatment of its disorders. For his astounding accomplishments in this field, Dr. Javed has won many awards, including the prestigious Shanti Swarup Bhatnagar Prize. The major impact of his fundamental work and surgical innovations has been in understanding and managing numerous congenital and acquired disorders of the lacrimal pathways, predominantly in children.
There have been few moments of discovery or innovation which I distinctly remember. One fine morning I was driving to the hospital and suddenly an idea struck about one of the diseases of the tearing system, and I said, well, we don't know the reason for it. Why not look at it electron microscopically? Nobody has done that. So the issue there was that, well, nobody has done that, so nobody knows how to interpret those tissues. It spirals one into another and it makes you so restless that the first thing that I came, as soon as I came to the hospital, was searching for where there are facilities for electron microscopies, making sure that I get all the possible books about other systems which I might be able to use for the tear ducts, and so on and so forth. And that started off a journey and still continues.
Do you attribute it to an unknown power that you feel is unconceivable and indescribable?
Yes, hard work, sincerity, perseverance, good working environment, all these are essential ingredients that goes into an innovation. But I don't think that's all there. There is something more to it. Some people call it God, some people call it the power of the universe. I think it cannot be described. It is something more than what you are.
Was it serendipitous? That is, did the creativity unleash in you by chance? Maybe due to some unforeseen procedural error in the experiments you were performing.
There are some occasions where serendipity does play a role in unleashing the creativity. For example, when I was doing a hormonal profiling of the tear ducts, I wanted to see certain hormones and explore their possible role in the causation of the disease. But it just so happened that I was in Germany and the lab also had another hormone called prolactin, which was just by chance lying in the fridge. And I said, well, I'm using so many hormones, let's use this. So I had no plan of using it, but so many interesting things came out of it. And today I feel that hormone that was the vial that was lying on the shelf, that probably had the most important role to play in the tear duct disorders.
How do you get into the mode of creativity?
I think it is all about passion and giving it a thought. So I think if you constantly keep thinking about it and are passionate about doing whatever work you're doing, I think that adds a bit of chance, and that could be the mantra.
Did you feel a sudden spurt of creative energy flowing in your brain at that moment? Can you recall any physiological manifestation of the creative process as it happened?
There is a sudden surge of energy that happens when that moment arrives. I don't know whether it is more of a creative, but it stems out from a lot of restlessness. So, yeah, there is some spurt of that energy that in those moments that happen, and actually it's more like a vicious cycle. It actually leads you one to another. There might be a roadblock somewhere, it may not complete, but yes, once that starts, it exponentially grows till either it is completely stopped or it completes whatever mission it's supposed to.
Do you think when those moments of truth struck, you were in tune with your inner voice of intuition or your higher self?
The time around that moment, there is a lot of talking with yourself. There is a very high degree of conversation that happens from yourself. You talk to yourself so much internally and in the brain. You may not talk, voice it over, but yet that happens. And I don't know whether you call that as higher self or intuition.
How would you define intuition?
Intuition, for me, I would define it as gut feeling. The actual definition of intuition also says that it should be instinctive and should not have conscious reasoning. I think for me that intuition also has a bit of conscious reasoning also. It's not completely unconscious, and a belief that this particular thing will or will not work, or this particular thing is likely to be this way or not likely to be this way.
Do you agree that as a scientist one has to raise one's magnetism to attract the truth that already exists?
I think it's all about passion, and you're thinking about it all the time. In a way, if you think about something so much, then as they say, the universe may provide you with that. So that may be the magnetism that attracts that truth.
Would you consider the practice of meditation important for aiding one's scientific pursuits?
My mind is usually quite restless and in a very heightened state when these things happen, or it could be even a time when I'm terribly tired, and then that's the moment of time that truth strikes. I have never practiced meditation per se, and I don't know whether that would aid in scientific pursuits. It may aid. A lot of people believe that way.
You may be aware that some of the most powerful ideas in the history of science came to their inventors while they were daydreaming. Did you have any such experience?
Dreams are something that occasionally I rely upon to take decisions. Examples that I remember: once when I dreamt about the tear ducts. I deal with the disorders of the tear ducts. So I saw the tear ducts like as big as the mountains, and they have ears, mouth and nose and everything, and they're talking to me. I think that dream propelled me to dwell more in detail into the causation of the diseases. The other one that I remember is where I dreamt that I was drawing on a big blackboard and trying to explain to somebody that the tear duct disorders are actually bone marrow disease. Now there's no connection between them, and it's crazy, but I've kept it written and I would like to explore it. I know however crazy it looks, there might be something, who knows.
Paramahansa Yogananda said, "Thoughts are universally and not individually rooted. A truth cannot be created but only perceived. The erroneous thoughts of man result from imperfections in his discernment." He said further, "The goal of yoga science is to calm the mind, that without distortion it may mirror the divine vision in the universe."